we have discussed about arrays and how can we define arrays in JavaScript we have discussed, which can be used to store a collection of homogeneous elements inside it. And how can we define the array which is of type empty? How to define an array by initializing some set of elements inside that? How to manage the elements we have discussed in the previous session. But in some cases, I want to store some heterogeneous elements. I want to store heterogeneous elements. How can we store heterogeneous elements? Which can be used to store primitive values, or it may be used to store some complex elements also like as records. How can we store those records information as part of JavaScript variables? Now let's see. So now for example here, as of now we have stored simple values. Like for example, we have defined a variable where customer code. I'm storing some value. This variable can store only one value that will be of type numerical. For example, I'm defining a variable here which is of type array, like now some country names equals to, I'm storing some values. India, USA, UK, Japan, like that. This is an array which can store a collection of homogeneous elements. Now, this is a normal variable. This is an array variable here. So normal variable can store only one value. Array variable can store multiple values of same data type. But now I want to store one record. Like I want to store one customer record, which will be holding the customer code, customer age, customer name, his designation, his annual revenue, his phone number, his email ID, all these things. But in this case, customer name code will be numerical. Customer age also numerical. Name is a string type, and the designation string type. Email ID string type. Phone string type. And then I want to store his joining date also, but the date type. So different types of elements I would like to store. In this kind of situation, if you want to store some heterogeneous elements inside a JavaScript variable, we have to use the help of objects. To store homogeneous elements, arrays. To store heterogeneous elements, objects. So we have to use the help of objects, which can be used to store some different types of elements inside this object element. Then how can we define these objects? Now let's see. In JavaScript, objects will be storing the elements in the form of key value pairs. As part of your development, we have a concept called as a map collection. In map collection, we are storing the elements in the form of key value pairs. Here also exactly same situation. Here also we are storing the elements in the form of key and the value pairs. Key is nothing but the variable type, that means variable name. Value is nothing but value that we are going to store inside the variable here. So in this case, as part of these objects, these are allowing us to store some heterogeneous elements inside that, where we can store a single value also, single record also, multiple records also we can store inside that. That facility is available. In this case, objects will store the elements in the form of key and the value pair collections. Always, the elements will be storing in the form of key and the value pairs. Then how can we define these objects? Now let's see. Whenever we are preparing an object, object elements will be always enclosing with curly braces. That already told you yesterday, square braces is indicating arrays. Curly braces is indicating object. In this object, we can store multiple elements. Key, colon, value, comma, key, colon, value, comma, key, colon, value. Like that here we can store multiple elements value. This will be integer type, this is a string type, this is a date type, like the different types of elements we can store inside that. Clear? Now, then how can we define an object? What is the syntax we used to follow? Now, let me show you. Now, make a note of this one. JavaScript objects allows us to store heterogeneous elements inside the variable. Heterogeneous elements inside the variable. Objects will store the values in the form of key value pairs. In the form of key value pairs. Now, we can store complex elements inside the objects. That is, we can store a single record or multiple records also. Now, object element can store primitive type of values, array values, and object values also inside it. We can store primitive type of values also, array values also, and object values also inside it. Now, each object should be, object elements should be enclosed with curly braces. Curly braces. Now syntax. Now we can specify where variable name equals to, we can specify that. Here we can specify element name, element value, comma, element name, element value, element name, element value, like that here, multiple elements, and we can able to store. Done with this? Now, in this case here, for example, I would like to store some element. I'm giving an example where customer details. We can specify that. I'm storing the customer details like customer code. I'm indicating the value CID hyphen 500032. Customer name. I'm indicating some Merck Pharma. Now the contact number +1 800 787 4433. Email address support@merck.com. Now the balance amount. I'm indicating the value 2 crore 50 lakhs. Active status. I'm indicating yes. Like that here we can able to store the element and the value. Now here we are storing some numerical here. We can store the string elements also, different types of elements we can able to store. But these values will be purely a primitive type. That means simple values over here. Now we can make them as array type also over here. Then how can we do that? I will explain that scenario. Now we can store the array elements also inside the object. Syntax. We can specify where variable name equals to, we can specify the element name and the value. Element name and the value. And element name here, the value should be, I would like to indicate in the form of array. Here we can specify the value 1, value 2, value 3, like that. For example, where employee details. I'm indicating employee code E500034. Employee age, some 32. Contact number. Here I'm indicating 2 elements over here. Like that. So this is a primitive element here. The second one also primitive element, but the third one is array element inside this. We can store object elements inside in another object. That is nested objects. Syntax. We can use this the same. Here we can able to specify element name. Here we can specify. We can specify the element and the value, element and the value, like that. Done with the syntax. Now we can store multiple objects also, okay, within a single array. As of now, inside the object we have stored array elements. Now, for example, I have 5 objects are available, like 5 records data. How to store 5 records data in the form of array? In the form of array. Like for example, I'm having this account records data here. Like account record data, all the records information will be represented in the form of objects only. Generally, when you go to the Salesforce objects, we are storing so many records, like account records. Now, first account record ID here, like ID. We are storing 001 some value. Name. That means here key is nothing but the field name, and then value is nothing but the actual value which we have supplied for that field. Name, some Ram Kumar. Rating, hot. Industry, finance. Annual revenue, 25 lakhs. Type, prospect. Phone, we can specify that. Like that, we can store one record. This is one record information. Like the similar fashion, we have one more record, and then we have one more record. Now I'll be changing these values. Now, this is Kishore Kumar, Pavan Kumar. These are the 3 records are available here. This is the first record data, second record data, third record data, but all are account record types. Then how can we store that here? This is also account record, next one also account record, third one also account record. That means all are similar type. In this case, we can able to combine them inside an array. We can combine them inside an array here. So now this is the first element. How to store the multiple elements? First element, comma, second element, comma, third element. But each element will be of type what object here. So this is one object, this is second object, top one third object. So multiple objects we can combine together with the help of arrays. Now, whenever we are going to be implementing this as JavaScript, whatever the records that we have inside your Salesforce, those records will be storing in the form of objects only here. Okay? Yes. Okay, it will take no problem. Yes. Because it is going to be representing the data that's it here. Now. But upon storing the data inside the database object, then based on that, okay, conditions which have applied, it will show the error message over there. Okay. Now, as of now, inside this object, we have stored, okay, array element, we have stored object elements, but multiple objects also we can store in the form of an array as well here. Okay. Now, let me do this more point. We can store a collection of objects inside an array. For example, these are the various formats to define objects in JavaScript. Now, how can we define this a JavaScript object, and how can we manage the elements? How can we collect these keys? How can we collect these values? Now, let's see one by one. Done with this? Now, let's see. So now how can we manage the elements, okay, as part of these objects, okay, in JavaScript? Now let me show you with the practical. I'm going to my VS Code editor. Let me define an object here. How to represent the elements, I will show you. I'm defining an object where customer details. I'm representing the customer details. So object will be representing the elements in the form of key value pairs. I'm indicating customer code. I would like to specify CID, like 9004123. This is the customer code. Customer name, some Ramesh Kumar. Customer age, 30. Now email address, ramesh@some gmail.com. Active status, yes. These are the elements I have stored inside my array here. So inside my collection. This is the object here. In this object, we have stored the elements. Whenever we are enclosing some elements inside this array, that means inside the square braces, that means it's an array. If I'm enclosing the elements in the form of curly braces, then it will be object. Okay, this is the notation here. Now, in array, all the elements will be of same type. And when coming to the objects, it will be different types of elements here. This is a string type, this is a number type, like the different types of elements we can store. Now, how can we represent these customer details here? Now I want to print console.log. Customer details are. I want to represent that object name. When you try to represent this object name, it won't show the details over here. See, it is showing that customer details are object simply. It won't show the information because it's an object. Objects can't be represented on your browser console directly. Then what needs to be done? Whatever the object that we have, we need to convert the object into string type. That string content we can show on the browser console. Browser console can store only the string type of elements, not objects type. So in order to convert this object into that string type, we have to use the help of a class called as JSON class. JavaScript object notation. Okay, JSON. When you go to the integration videos, I think you have visited the integration videos also. In integration videos, you will be having some classes for JSON formatters. Okay. Now JSON dot, there is a method called as a stingify. JSON dot stingify. Now here we can specify here JSON dot stingify. So we have to use a method called as JSON dot stingify method. Here we need to specify the object name. Now this particular JSON class is going to be converting this object into string format over here. This is string content we can represent on your browser console. Now let's see. Now we can see the customer details over here. Now we can see the customer data. Now let's see. So now I would like to represent the object's data on the browser console. Browser console won't represent the object's data directly on the console. So in order to represent this content on the browser console, we have to convert them in the form of string format by using the JSON class. JSON is a built-in class which has been given by the JavaScript, which is used to perform the converting the data from object to string, string to object also. That means this is called a serialization, deserialization mechanisms that we can do with the help of this JSON parser. Now, so now here in this case, I'm representing the data here. The whole object data will be getting represented here. We can see. Sometimes we can raise a question, sir, in this particular object, I'm having so many elements are available. These are the element keys. These are the element keys. These are the element values. Okay, these are the element values. Now, sometimes I want to get only the keys. Okay, sometimes I want to get only the keys. I don't want values. Only the key names I want to represent. In that case, we have to use the help of object.keys, console.log. Element key names are, we can specify object.keys. Object.keys. Here we can specify the object name. What is the object name? Customer detail. That means in this particular object, whatever the elements are available, those element keys we can collect, we can represent on the browser console here. Now, let's see. Now it is representing only the key names, like as customer code, customer name, customer age, email ID. Like that, it will be representing only the key names over here. Now, like the similar fashion, if you want to collect only the element of values, then we can specify console.log. Element of values are, now tell me how can we write this one? Object.values method. When you go to the map collection also in our Apex programming, we have two methods, key set method, values method, two methods. Similar fashion here also. Values of, we can specify customer details. Now we can show only the element of values, like as only the customer code, customer name, age, and the email ID, active status, only these values will be getting represented over here. Clear? Now, so now here in this case, okay, now here in this case, let's see. I want to represent only the customer name, then what we can do? Console.log. Customer name. How can we get the customer name? Your object name. Customer details dot customer name. So only that element will be getting visible over here. The customer name is, it is representing the value Ramesh Kumar. So that means not only representing the complete object on the browser console, we can collect each and every element value also separately here. That facility is available. Clear? Understood the concept now? Next. Now, in this case, inside this object, can we store array elements here? Yes, we can store array elements also. Here I'm going to be adding that element here. Contact number. For this person, we have two contact numbers are available here. Now the first contact number, there is the second contact number. These are the two contact numbers we have specified here. Now I'm representing these contact numbers. There is the first contact number and there is the second contact number. There is the array. Now contact numbers, okay, I'm adding an element, but this element will be holding the value of type array. It's not a single value, it's a array value here. Now we want to represent only the contact numbers. In that case, we can specify console.log. Contact numbers are, I would like to represent customer details dot contact number. We can show only the contact number values. Whatever the contact numbers are available, we can able to represent only the contact numbers. Clear? Next. Now in this array, in this object, can we store some object elements inside this? Yes, we can store object elements also. Now I would like to store contact address. I'm representing this object element here. Inside this object, I'm storing object element like street, flat number 401, some Rama residency, Kukatpalli, comma, city name, some Hyderabad, state name, some Telangana, country name, India, postal code 5000132, for example. I'm giving all these values. So this is an object element. Inside the object, we are going to be representing this contact address will be again an object over here. Inside this object, we are storing one more object here. So this object can store primitive type of elements, array type of elements, object type of elements also. All we can store within a single object. Understood the concept here? Now. So now here in this case, I want to show the contact address. How can we show the contact address now? Console.log. Contact address is what we can do. Customer details dot contact address. But contact address is of type what? Hmm. Contact address is of type what? Object. Can we show the object directly? No. Then what needs to be done? Convert into string format. How to convert this into string format? JSON dot stringify. JSON dot stringify. That's it. Now we can see the contact address also. Here we can see the contact address information. Whatever the address we have specified, we can represent. Now, for example, in this contact address, I want to know only the state name. Then what can I do? Hmm. No. Directly we can collect, we can represent here, separate values. Now, I want to get only the state name. Then what we can do? Console.log. State name is what we can do? Customer details dot contact address dot state name. Okay, state name. That's it. Clear? Keep on, we can targets over here. Now we can see only the state name value, that is Telangana here. Okay, understood the concept till now? Now, so now here in this case here, we can able to represent the elements also here. What are the various elements are available? We can able to represent the elements. So now here we can able to represent the elements. Whatever the keys are available, we can collect values also. We can represent the object data directly on the browser console. We can collect a specific value also. We can represent array element values also. We can collect the complete object element also. We can collect one specific element from the object also, depends upon the requirement here. Okay, understand the concept now? This is how we can able to define objects, and then we can able to manage the elements inside these objects over here. Okay, clear up to this one? Next, now I would like to define an array of objects over here. This is a single object. Now I want to define array of object. In that array, I would like to store multiple objects information also here. How can we deal with that? Now let's see. Let me take one more example. I want to store the multiple products information. How to store? Let's see. Where I would like to indicate the products array equals to, I'm indicating this array here. In this array, I'm storing some elements. Each product will be having some specific elements here. This is the first object. Here I would like to represent the product name P1001 to the product code. Product name, some desktop device. Unit price 47,000. And then I would like to indicate manufacturer, Dell Incorporation. Is in stock, whether the product is available in stock or not. Yes, product is available in stock. This is the first product details, product code, product name, unit price, manufacturer, whether it is available in stock or not. Like the similar way. Second product information, third product information, fourth product information, also like that multiple we can able to store. I'm giving this, okay, 3 products information over here. Now, this is the first product. Second product code is P1002. This is a laptop device. Price will be 75,000. This is from HP Incorporation. Third one, 1003. This is a smartphone. Cost is some 32,000. Manufacturer is some Samsung Incorporation. Product available in stock. So now here in this case, I have stored 3 product details inside my array. I have this array. In this array, we have stored 3 products information. This is the first product data, second product data, third product data. But this is one object. This is second object. This is the third object. So multiple objects we can combine together by using arrays. Okay. Now I want to know in this array how many number of elements are available here. What we can do here? Console.log. Number of elements count. How can we do that? Products array dot length. Now we can see the details. Now we can see number of elements count is 3. There are 3 products are available over here. Each product I would like to show. I'm going to be representing the product information. First product data I would like to represent over here. Now I would like to represent this information. First product data. Console.1. First product data. Now products array of 0. Now here it is indicating that first products array of 0, but it will be an object type here. So it will show that object. I want to convert it into string type, so that I'm using JSON dot stringify. Now we can see first product element here. Whatever the element values are available for the first product, we can able to see this element value also. Now, if you want to collect that element value, for example, if you want to get the unit price here, unit price, we can able to collect only that unit price here. Dot unit price. Now we can able to collect this value. Whatever the first product that we have, the first product's element unit price we can able to collect. Now we are going to be using products array of 0 dot okay unit price. That means first product array, we have first product okay details we are collecting. From that I'm collecting unit price. I'm representing that element value over here. So depends upon your requirement, we can able to collect these elements also here. That facility will be available to you. Okay, understood the concept now? Now. That means now in this case you will be having that methods. Okay, JSON dot you will be having that information. This is the stringify method is available. By default, it will be object type here. Now, when you go to that here, by default, whenever I'm storing some object information, you will be having that okay object content, and then we can convert it into string. If you want to do that okay into the object format, then we have to use that explicit text conversion. Like this is the format here. We need to object type. Check testing. Now, clear? This is how we can able to deal with the arrays of objects inside your JavaScript. So not only storing the preliminary primitive type of elements, we can store array elements also, objects elements also inside the object, and then we can store the multiple objects data into a single object also depends upon your requirement over here. That facility will be available to you over here. Okay, understood the concept now? Now, the next one we have functions. Functions we'll see in the next session. In next section, we are going to be discussing about the functions over here, how to prepare the functions, and then how to use these functions in okay our Lightning component. We'll see in the next session. Next session will be on day after tomorrow. Tomorrow we don't have the session. Next session will be day after tomorrow here at same timings. Timings will be the same. Okay, and then we don't have classroom online session. Okay, tomorrow holiday. Thank you.